Hey guys, welcome back to We Met at Acme. I'm so excited to be here with Jamie Norwood. She's the co-founder of Winx Health. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, thank you so much for having
I'm
me.
so happy to have you on. We need to talk about sex and sexual health. It is like one of the most requested topics that we get. But before we get into anything, I have to ask you the question I always start with, which is what is your favorite romantic gesture for someone to do for you?
Yes, I've thought about this. Definitely a love letter. I love words of affirmation. I love writing notes, and like I always have my whole life.
I love that. Does your fiance write you love letters?
Yeah, he does. When we first started dating, actually, I had mentioned, I don't think I said love letters, but I was like, oh, I love letters,
Mhm.
writing letters. And I was leaving for a trip, and he, I guess, had to leave before I woke up. And when I woke up, there was like a little letter on my nightstand. I think we'd only been on like 3 or 4 dates. So that was like a good early green flag.
That's really cute. I love that.
Yeah.
And how did you guys meet?
We met, the short story is at a party. He went to high school with, like, my friend from college's friend's friend, so, like, one of
Mhm.
those. Um, but I'd actually tried to set him up on a date with someone else before. I didn't know him, and this is, like, a long story, but my roommate and I at the time, we made a Google form, and we, like, sent it to all of our single friends because we wanted to set people up because
Wait,
we had
that's
been,
so
like, kind of
cute.
setting people up just, like, as it happened.
Mhm.
And it got sent around and we had, like, over 200 replies. It was crazy. It, like, dominated our
Was
lives for,
this like
like
during COVID or just a normal time?
it was the winter of 2022. So,
Okay,
no.
winter, people are starving to meet.
It was a winter hobby, like, we
Mhm.
joke, like, that was our second job. At
Yeah.
night after work, we'd sit on the couch and we'd, like, set up dates. It was so cute, and he submitted his profile, and he just seemed like such a nice guy, but, like, we had we were seeing people or we were just, like, going on dates of our own. So I tried to set him up with someone, I don't think they ever went out. So when I met him in person, I was like, "I know who you are,
That's
and I know
so
all your
funny.
answers to these funny questions we
Yeah.
asked."
That's really cute. When is his so you're a Leo. When
Yes.
is his birthday?
He is a
Oh,
Sagittarius. No.
perfect.
Oh my god, he's an Aquarius. I'm not a
Oh.
big
Well,
astrology, I
both would be
wanna
very
be.
compatible with you.
His
When's his
birthday is
birthday?
January 28th.
Okay, he's an
He's an
Aquarius. Yeah,
Aquarius.
and he's born on the 28th.
Yeah.
I'm like very into numerology
Okay, like
too.
Taylor.
And right. And I'm also born on the 28th, so he's obviously amazing.
Amazing.
When was your birthday? Because it just passed.
August 19th.
Okay. Love
Yeah.
it. All right. So you guys met and you had that cute little meet cute story, which I love. And everyone wants a meet cute,
It was cute.
truly. When did you decide to be official? Like, what was your timeline like? So that was 2022, and now
Yes.
you're engaged.
Yeah, we met and went on our first date, and, like, from it was pretty fast, and
Mhm.
I had been on the apps and, like, dating in New York for a couple years, and I was very used to, like, slow, seeing multiple people, ghosting, like, all the stuff that people deal with, and what I liked about him is, like, from the I think on our, like, 3rd date, he didn't ask me to, like, be his girlfriend, but, like, he kind of was like, "I really like you, like, I love where this is going," and I was like, "Whoa, like, you don't even know me."
Yeah.
But it felt he was just so genuine and it, like, felt right, so pretty quickly, I think, like, maybe a month after our first date, we were, like, boyfriend, girlfriend, and then, we got engaged in May, like, right at our 2-year
Mhm. It's
anniversary.
really cute. And you're
Yeah.
32. Is he your same age?
Yes. Well, actually, he's 31, he's 6 months younger than
Ooh,
me.
a
Grade younger.
cougar. I love it. I really actually think that same age, give or take a couple months, is a really good match because you've gone through all the same things. Like you had like Backstreet Boys or whatever it was
Yeah,
growing up. Like you have those in common. You know the words
totally,
to the same songs, all of that stuff.
totally.
I was very hesitant about dating someone the same age because I always dated older
Mhm.
and actually had a blip where I dated 2 years younger,
Okay.
but I'd never dated my same age because for some reason it was just weird to me, and now I'm married to my husband who's the same age, and I'm like, "How could I have not like, how could I have been resistant to this? It's so
Yeah.
easy."
You're on the same page, and also what's fun now is, like, all of our, like, middle school throwback songs, like,
Yeah.
we're, like, talking about, like, wedding playlist. It's like we know
Yes.
all of the same songs.
Right.
There's no mismatch.
Exactly,
So,
and that's so easy. When is the wedding?
in February,
Okay, and
really
where are you
soon.
guys getting married?
We are getting married at a restaurant in Brooklyn. It's gonna be small, just 50 people
Sounds
for dinner,
perfect.
so yeah.
That's so great. You have your dress and all the
I
things.
do. I've kind of just been doing all this stuff like the last few weeks.
Mhm.
I have my dress. We got the florist, DJ. I feel like I'm good, but I know stuff will continue to pop
Yeah.
up.
Have
Yeah.
you felt like you guys have, like, butted heads on any of the process? I remember when I was wedding planning, the hardest part for me was the
Mhm.
seating because I was like, "I want everyone to be happy. I
Yeah.
want my husband to be happy, but I wanna be happy." There's only so especially when it's a smaller wedding, there's only so many people that can be, seated close to
Yeah.
you.
We haven't gotten to seating yet,
Mhm.
but I think it will kind of come together naturally, and we've
Yeah.
been on the same page. He's much more like likes a big party than me.
Mhm.
So I think if it was totally his decision, we'd be having like an 150-person wedding,
Yeah.
which is what our parents wanted too. So I kind of felt like evil a little bit because I was like, "No, I really want it to be small." Like, I just know myself, and if it's really big, I'm gonna be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I might cry. Like, I just, like, really don't love, like, being in the center
Mhm.
of attention. But we were on the same page, and I think we have, like, reached a nice compromise because after dinner's really just, like, family and close friends. Like, 50 goes so fast. It's
Right.
crazy. But after dinner, we're gonna invite friends for drinks and cake and dancing, so it's gonna be, like, a little bit of a mix.
That's perfect. I was gonna say 50 is so fast
It's
because
crazy.
if you think of those people as all couples, it's 25 people.
And my immediate family, like, with my brother and sister's kids, is, like, 15 people. So I'm like,
Crazy.
I'm only having, like, 4 or 5 girlfriends.
No, it's
It's
wild.
crazy.
That's wild. So I want to talk a little bit about sex
Yes.
and sexual health. So you met Cynthia. So Cynthia's your business partner at
Yeah.
Winx, and you guys met when you were younger. What was your story?
Yeah, we met right out of college.
Mm-hmm.
We were both coworkers at a startup in Baltimore, Maryland. It was like we were maybe employees like 6 and 7, and it was all boys our own age. They were like fraternity brothers from UMD, and it was kind of like we were all running this business and had no idea what we were doing, but it was honestly so fun. I have very fond memories. And Cynthia and I were coworkers and the only women on the team, so we just naturally kind of like bonded and we became like fast friends. And Cynthia, like a couple years into running the business, this was also like 2019, like the boom of direct to consumer. It was like Casper and Harry's and all of that stuff. And Cynthia was at the drugstore at like a CVS buying a pregnancy test and she ran into her ex-boyfriend's mother.
Oof.
And like at the time we're 25, like pregnancy test in hand, and it was just she tells the story way better than I do because she was there. But she called me after, and I was dealing with a bout of, like, recurring UTIs just nonstop. I couldn't get rid of them, and we were just like, "This is miserable." Like, neither one of us were especially with the pregnancy test, we weren't trying to get pregnant, and buying a pregnancy test at that time, and still now, I think, like, all the brands are marketing towards women who want babies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of the boxes literally have baby faces on them. They don't really anymore, it's changed, but, we were like, "What if there was a brand that sold these products and made them easier to buy and use and understand for women like us?" And we just kind of started working on it as a fun side project, like, which is funny now thinking of, like, us at that time, and one thing led to the other, and we ended up, like, doing pitch competitions and that kind of thing, and it's turned into a
Did you ever do
business.
Shark Tank?
No, we never
Mm-hmm.
did. I'd be I think I'm too nervous to, like, go on
Yeah,
TV,
I'd be so nervous.
and I feel like they intentionally set you up to, like, be embarrassed, but,
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia, my business partner, she's, like, made for the stage. She's, like, a theater kid, so she would do well on Shark Tank.
I love that. And you had a breakup at the time at the start of your business, which is very interesting and I can relate because I had a breakup, a big breakup right before starting this podcast.
Right.
So, what was that like and you know, was like not to be intrusive, but were were the UTIs because you had been newly single and like, exploring different things?
Yeah, no, and I'm an open book. We I went through a breakup, like, a few months after starting the business
Okay.
or going full time. We were working on
Mhm.
the business for, like, a year on the side. The UTIs were not from dating there. I was in my relationship. I
Yeah,
just think I was, like, young at the time. The first time I got a UTI, I didn't know what it was, which is a huge problem and very common.
totally.
And I remember, like, I waited so long to cure it or to do something about it that the urgent care and the pharmacy were in the same shopping center, and I literally couldn't walk from one to the other. Like, I was in so much pain. So we can get back to UTIs, but
Right.
going through the breakup at that time, it was a lot just because I was, newly single, dating as an adult for the first time. I moved cities. I moved from Baltimore to Philadelphia, and I was starting a company.
It always happens at once.
It's crazy. It was
Yeah.
like looking back now, I'm like, "Oh my god, like that was not it was the worst."
Right.
It was awful.
Crazy. But I mean, that must have been such a great like catapult for you into being full time because you're like,
Yeah,
this is where my focus is going. Like that relationship,
totally.
I'm leaving, I'm putting all my focus in this. And
Totally.
with going back to your UTI, you and I were talking about this before we started recording. I've had UTIs and I'll tell you my story, but I've also had recurring like a yeast infection, BV, and it's really hard out there for people with a vagina.
I mean, and they're all linked. It's
Mhm.
like you get a UTI, you get antibiotics, it
Yep.
gives you a yeast infection.
It's crazy.
Then the yeast infection doesn't get fully treated, and
Mhm.
then maybe you have sex with someone else and you get BV.
It's a full cycle.
It's
So for
awful.
your UTI, the one that you
Yeah.
kind of went untreated for a little bit, was it a textbook situation where you just forgot to pee after sex, or was it like random? Because I think that's what we hear as women is like,
Yeah.
if you don't pee after sex, you will get a UTI and you will die. And like there's no other option for getting one.
Totally. I will say I've always been very good at peeing after sex because I had heard horror stories,
Yeah.
and even, like, to this day, it's like I run to the bathroom.
Yeah. No, me
But,
too.
I honestly think those UTIs from that time in my life were from hot yoga.
And that is also a thing that people
Yeah.
don't talk about is hot yoga, hot Pilates, changing your underwear and your
Mhm.
leggings often when it's like a sweaty, you know, a hot day in
Yeah,
the summer. Like it doesn't even have to be from a workout class, but that stuff and that like friction
totally.
really messes with you.
And now I pack a change of underwear when I do because I still love hot yoga, it's, like, my main form of exercise, but I was new to it at the time,
Mm,
and I was doing it a lot, and, I mean, there's no way to really know how you got it,
right.
but I think that was it, and then what happens is if you're not treated fully, they just keep coming back because the
Mhm.
only way to get rid of a UTI is to, like, take a full course of antibiotics
Mhm.
and, like, the right kind of antibiotics, and I didn't know this at the time, but there's tons you can do to prevent UTIs aside from peeing after sex. Like at Winx, we have a UTI supplement and it has D-mannose, which has clinical like studies that it's super effective for UTIs. It has cranberry, it has turmeric for inflammation. It's honestly incredible. And I'm not just saying this because it's my company, but I've not gotten a UTI since I started taking it.
Yeah.
And I was dealing recurring and like the reviews, hearing those stories of people being like, I haven't had a vaginal infection since I started taking. We have that, and then we have a probiotic too
Mhm.
for yeast infection and
And
BV.
and by the way, UTIs do not always present themselves too, and that's why it's so important to take something like that so you can just be ahead of it. I was in a relationship where for some reason, I honestly think my body was trying to tell me this is not the
I
person for
think that's
you,
what it
which
is.
is another very real thing, and I was getting UTIs, and then but it was always obvious when I had the UTI, and then I must have had one without realizing, which I never thought I'd be in that position.
Mhm.
And one day I literally like, could not similar like I couldn't walk, like I couldn't sleep, I was in so much pain. I was throwing up. It
Oh
got
my
to that
god.
point. And I went to an urgent care and it turned out I had a kidney infection from
Yeah,
an untreated UTI.
it's really
I
dangerous.
had never in my life been in so much pain. I immediately, like, went to the hospital.
Oh my
I had
god.
to go on all these antibiotics. I mean, there's really nothing you could do except for, like, go on antibiotics as soon as you can.
Yeah.
But it was really horrific, and it just goes to show, like, UTIs are not a joke. Like, they could
No.
be very serious, and he was like the doctor was like, "If you hadn't come in today, like, I don't know what would have happened."
They're the most common outpatient infection, and like you're saying, it's not like a small thing where you're like, "Oh, I'll deal with this eventually." Like, it is crippling pain. We have and, like, my experience with UTIs and Cynthia also, like, wound up in the hospital with a kidney infection for her
Mm,
UTI. We have our, a test and treat product, which basically is like it's so important to test, and also testing at home is so much easier than urgent care because like you said, they present differently for everyone.
right.
You might be like, "Something's off down there, but I don't know what it is." So we have these tests where basically you can pee on a stick at home or swab, and it will tell you what kind of infection you have. And then you can get connected to a telehealth doctor for prescription treatment. So it's all for like the less, not to sound like an ad, it's all for less than the cost of most copays. But like really, it's so affordable. You don't have to go to urgent care. You don't have to wait. And
No,
like,
that is a huge deal because most women don't have OBGYNs until they're
totally.
ready to have kids.
And over right now, we're like in this crisis, a women's health crisis, as we all know. And over 50% of counties in the country don't have OBGYNs. And a lot of residents or medical students don't want to go into OBGYN anymore just because of all of the like restrictions and legal
That
implications
makes me
with
so
practicing. It's
sad.
really sad. So that's like a whole other, it's like,
Right.
that's a whole other thing that we can get into, but it's a crisis of sex ed and access.
Well, speaking of sex ed, growing up, I'm curious what you had in terms of sex ed. I went to all girls schools my whole life. I'm not kidding when I say I had zero sex ed at school. It was the topic of sex was never once brought up,
Was it a
not even
religious
once.
school?
No,
Wild.
wild. So, what was your experience with that?
I went to public school. We had sex ed, but, like, all I remember from sex ed is learning about all the different STIs. Like, I literally remember
Mm.
taking a quiz being like, "Chlamydia, gonorrhea," which is, like, good to know, but didn't learn at all about vaginal health, didn't learn about consent, pleasure. I mean, oh my god, of course I didn't learn about
Of
pleasure in school.
course, yeah.
I think it's better in some areas now, but I think it's 2/3 of states don't require sex ed to be medically accurate. So they can write all sorts of things in the curriculum. Multiple states lead with abstinence only sex ed. And like now with, you know, Planned Parenthood being defunded and restricted access to critical health care, it's just like a total crisis.
It's a total crisis, and I feel like it's left up to like in a lot of situations to the parents to
Yeah.
have these conversations, and we don't know any better than anyone else, you know? It's like the old birds and bees thing. And it's like, what do you think that we should be what's the ideal way for something like this to be taught, do you think?
I think starting from a really young age and just normalizing it. Like, I remember when I was in college and in my 20s, like, I didn't have a vocabulary for talking about sex and sex ed and vaginal health. But my sister has 3 kids, and I remember, I was like my sister asked me to give my niece a bath. She was, like, maybe 4, and she was like, "Aunt Jamie, only people who live in my house can see me naked." And I was like, "Oh, okay, like, thanks for letting me know." Like, how
Mhm.
sweet. Like, my sister must have told her that and she remembered, and then my
Right.
sister came in and was like, "Aunt Jamie's my sister, like, she can give you a bath." But
Right.
I was never taught anything like that.
Mhm.
I don't even think, like, I said the word vagina until I started this company maybe.
Right.
So I think starting from an early age and then when they're teens, just being so open. Like, you
Yeah.
have a son, I'm
Mhm.
sure you will be all over teaching your son about, like, consent and
Totally.
pleasure, but I think it's very uncommon.
Yeah, I wonder too, and I don't know if this is necessarily your wheelhouse, but maybe just your opinion. There has been conversation about, the parents of young kids and whether they should be naked in front of the kids or not.
Oh,
Like it's called like naked households and
okay.
like not
Yeah,
naked
yeah.
households. And I think of my own and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really ever remember seeing certainly not my dad naked, but
Yeah,
maybe
no.
my mom if I like was running into her
Yeah.
bathroom when she was peeing. Um, and I'm curious if like that has just like the idea of shame in
Yeah.
general, if that has to do with how we approach sexual intimacy conversations as we get older. Because I know that a big thing that I talk about on my podcast is how people are afraid to communicate about
Yeah.
sex and say what they're interested into and say what they're not into. And sometimes people can literally have sex without ever talking about what they like with a
Totally.
partner.
Totally. I think that I'm curious about the naked household thing. I haven't heard that discourse, but we're probably in different algorithms because I
Yeah.
I don't have children, but, um, I do feel like it probably does a lot for, like, little girls to have a mother who's comfortable with their
Mhm,
body
mhm.
from, like, a body acceptance.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I never saw I was not seeing my parents naked. But in terms of, I just lost my train of thought.
Just like how we can talk,
Oh, yeah.
communicate with partners about intimacy, maybe
Yeah.
before it's had.
Yeah. I think that a lot of, like there's a lot of discourse that you see online now about normalizing, like, talking about what you like and what feels good or what you don't wanna do. I feel like it's come a really long way. I mean, personally, like, I was not comfortable talking about sex until I was, like, in my late 20s.
Mhm.
And I think working in this space and being, like, around these words and this language all the time has made me much more comfortable. Um, but, like, I have girlfriends even now that, like, won't have sex when they're on their periods or,
Right.
like, don't talk openly about, like, what feels good. And
I have friends who've never had an orgasm still.
and are they in relationships?
N no,
Yeah.
but I'm sure I have a friend in a relationship
Yeah.
who has
I'm
never had
sure.
one.
Yeah. No, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Or, like, people are not comfortable bringing, like, sex toys into
Mhm.
relationships or just, like, there's a lot of shame. So it is my hope that by, like, normalizing sex ed, we all become a lot more comfortable with it. Um, we have this, like, sex ed platform on our site called Real Talk, and it started as answering questions about our products, like a blog, honestly, and we started getting so much traffic and people asking us really specific questions, and we have everything from, like, very medical articles to, like, why does pineapple change the taste of my vagina, which is our
Yeah.
most popular article, which kills me.
I thought it was just like the taste of a man's.
I think there's no, like, actual studies about
Okay.
this, but it is our most popular article. It's how we get a lot of our website
This
traffic.
definitely came from Sex and the City, I feel like.
There what didn't Yes, wasn't there an episode where Samantha was, like,
Yes.
eating a lot of pineapple?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we have that to thank, but I'm a big Sex and the City fan. But,
Same.
like, it just makes me sad that so many people are insecure about the way their vagina tastes or smells
Yeah.
and wanting to make it taste like a fruit or, like, I get TikTok ads all the time for, like, gummies that make your vagina taste good, and, like, it just kills me because teenage girls are seeing this, and it's just, like, preying on insecurities.
And also men are not insecure at all about how their dicks taste. I'm
No.
sorry. Like they're just not. And it's very interesting. I feel like women more than men are so hygienic,
Yes.
yet we are more insecure than ever about how things are down there. Like I never let people go down on me for so long when I was, very much younger because I was so nervous about that. Like I'm not someone who takes a shower every day. So
Yeah. No, me
if
neither.
if I were, getting intimate with a guy, like a new partner or whatever, I would be like, no, 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 and I would be like, I haven't showered in a day. Like, and it's such a unnecessary shame. Whereas I just feel like, especially with the period sex, like
Mhm.
a real man does not care.
I have never once had anyone comment or think twice or, like, I don't know, it's just men when I think that if they are naked with you, they're just happy
They're just happy
to
to
be
be there.
there. They're not
Exactly.
gonna care what your vagina tastes like.
100%. But we are like this, about our whole bodies. I mean, I know some friends who feel insecure about their nipples. Like
Yeah.
it's like everything. But the truth is, all women's bodies are so different.
Yeah.
And that's what men like.
Yeah.
Like that's why men can't choose one sometimes because they're so intrigued by how different all women's bodies are. They're not looking for the same body.
Totally, totally. I mean, there's just so much, like, now that I'm planning a wedding, I just got a TikTok about how a bride was putting drops into her eyes to make the whites of her eyes brighter.
What?
Like a specific thing targeted towards, like, making your eyes bigger, and it's like, for a split second, I'm like, "Oh my god, are my eyes not white?" And then
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, I gotta sign off."
Right,
Like,
right,
that's
right.
ridiculous,
No,
but
it's crazy.
I mean, it definitely runs rampant, and I think sex ed is, like, a lot the sex ed in our country is to blame for a lot of this, and also just, like, I don't know, just the internet discourse in general.
Yeah, no, it's really true. And I worry that the generations coming up talk about sex even less than we did.
I know, and you would think it would be the
I
opposite. I
know.
feel like our age group actually, like, kind of hit the peak with, like, talking about
Yeah.
sex and our bodies and being comfortable and asking for what we want. I mean, I there's all this data out there about how Gen Z and kids in college are not having sex at the rates that, like, millennials did.
Mhm.
Um, and, I mean, there's all sorts of reasons why I'm sure that's true, but I don't know. I hope that it changes and people are more comfortable talking about these things, or let alone, like, forget, like, the insecurities of it, which are bad, but, like, when something's wrong,
Right.
seeking care and
Yeah.
finding solutions for their bodies because,
Mhm.
it's so common to deal with vaginal infections or, like,
Totally.
finding a birth control that works for you or
Mhm.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Do you think that society is more comfortable with male pleasure than female pleasure?
Yes.
Like, tell us kind of because I'm sure you've done so much research on this for
Yeah.
Winx.
Yeah. I mean, there's, like, a studied orgasm gap. I don't have the numbers top of my head, but, like, we all know, I assume most of your listeners are women,
Mhm.
that, like, men get off every time, and for women, pleasure is very personal. Um, there's a lot of, like, shame around it. Like, I remember being in middle school, like, the boys, like, talk about masturbating.
Right.
Like, the girls did not talk about that.
No.
Like, I did not even know that girls masturbated until I was probably, like, in college.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's just, like, a lot of, like, in dating, women can be weary to talk about it because we were never taught how to talk about it. Or like I said before, like we don't have the vocabulary to talk about it, to ask for what we want. And I think that there's a lot of fear about like coming off like, the wrong way or scaring someone away.
Right, like, we would get judged if we had condoms.
Yeah, which we hate. We literally we don't sell condoms anymore because it's hard to sell condoms because a lot of women don't buy them.
Right.
But we wanted like it to become a norm for women to have condoms,
Mhm.
and we sell our Restart Morning After pill, and like that's a really interesting one because um the behavior is not to like have that on hand. It's like, "Oh shit, I need a morning after pill. I'm going to run to the drugstore and buy one." But like why don't people have those in their cabinet like they would an Advil? Like
Right,
there's
exactly.
nothing wrong with being prepared.
No.
Men are like getting ads for all their like ED treatment,
Right.
all of the sex stuff for men. And also, I should have started with this, but like for us, advertising is very, very difficult because our ads get
Flagged.
restricted,
Mhm.
flagged for our morning after pill. It's impossible. Like we tried to get a billboard up that was like so cute, and I think it said something very like the original copy was when oh shit happens, and then we took out the word shit because we were like maybe that's the issue. They do not want us advertising about a product that helps women be
Right.
safe during sex,
Yep.
and
There's still even like that about period stuff.
it's crazy. And I feel like the period conversation has gotten to, like, a much better place. Like, there's so many cool tampon brands. I hope that younger girls are more comfortable. Just, like, I remember in middle school, I used to, like, hide my tampon,
Oh, same.
or, like, whisper, like, "Do you have a tampon?"
Yeah.
Um, but I think when it comes to the less, yeast infections, BV, emergency contraception, there's still so much stigma, and our Instagrams get shadow banned. We have the hardest time, like, meta ads, kind of like,
Mhm.
forget it, like, they're gonna get denied. And, like, billboards for and ads for all of these men's, like, sexual pleasure stuff.
Right, are everywhere.
Yeah,
So annoying.
it's so annoying.
Ugh. So, I'm so curious,
Mhm,
if you're, in a hetero relationship, let's say we're
mhm.
talking about, right? and you have sex as a woman with a man
Mhm.
and you're not on birth control and
Mhm.
both parties are aware that there wasn't protection used or maybe
Mhm.
it was, taken off midway, whatever it was. Do you believe that the man should pay for the morning after pill or the woman or split or what do you truly think is the best?
I think the man should offer to pay. I think that's a nice thing to do. It does a lot, like, taking a morning after pill can have side effects.
Mhm.
It can be, it doesn't feel good. Like, no one, there's no you shouldn't feel ashamed for taking one. They're totally safe and effective, but, like, no one wants to. It's like, it's like, "Oops, I made a mistake." So I think the man should offer, um, or, like, go pick it up for you. Order it on GoPuff. We sell ours on GoPuff,
Yeah.
DoorDash. Um, yeah, I actually have never taken the morning after pill myself, so I never had that experience, but
I have and I had to pay for it myself.
it can be expensive.
It was $50 at
Yeah.
the time. I mean, I must have been like 17,
Yeah.
but it was crazy.
Yeah. I think that men just don't realize that
Mhm.
it's a big deal. And also, like, I think personally, I don't know if what you I'm curious your opinions, but, like, I think men should have them. Like, I think men should have condoms. They should have a morning after pill. Like, they should be prepared. Like,
They should have condoms. The
yeah,
morning after pill, a man having that, it
red
is a
flag.
little it's a little, um, not pretentious, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like, it's
Like
like you're planning on not using
correct,
protection.
correct.
Yeah.
It's implying that, like, we don't need to use a condom because I have this
Right, you have
pill,
to take this.
which is not the real truth and meaning of the pill. You
Yeah.
don't have the pill as birth control. The pill is if something happened or if you were
Yeah.
unsure. Um, but I do think men should have condoms. I think, I get a lot of women reaching out being like, he had a vibrator. Is that a deal breaker?
Well, like, from an
I
ex-partner?
think that's where your mind goes,
Yeah.
is like why and where.
Yeah.
But even so, I mean, is that the end of the world?
No. If anything, it's, like, kind of an invitation to talk about sex.
Exactly.
"Hey,
It's a
like,
conversation starter,
where'd
and
you get that?"
obviously it's clean. It better be clean.
Yeah, I mean, that's, like, one thing. If he has a dirty vibrator, like,
What is the best way to clean a vibrator?
I just use soap and water.
Uh-huh.
They sell, like, I mean, I've seen, like, vibrator cleaner or toy cleaners being
Sure.
sold. I've never used. I don't think you need
Yeah.
anything specific.
Right, right, right.
Soap and water.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I mean, that's really interesting. I think that did happen to me one time where I saw a vibrator in a guy's, like, cabinet, and I was like my mind immediately went to, like, "Oh, that's from his ex,"
Right.
because it's not something, like, I would leave at someone's house unless I was, like, really dating them.
Sure, sure, sure. Well, it's like when you see, like, makeup wipes in their
Yes.
thing, you're just like, something
Or,
is
like, too nice of
it's
skincare.
it's like that TikTok
Yeah,
trend that's like someone cooked here.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love like, there's a girl, I think she just makes it up, but there's a girl who does TikToks where she goes into the bathrooms of guys she's sleeping with and,
Mhm.
like, reviews their products.
Oh,
It's
that's
so
really
funny.
funny, and it's always like a 3-in-1,
Y
like
yeah.
hair
Or,
product.
like, opposite end of the spectrum. It's
Oh, where
like
they have, like, really
Le
nice stuff.
Labo, like
That's so funny, I have to find that. What is your reaction when men feel threatened by a woman's sexual independence? Or kinda like the men who are like, "What's your sex number?" Those kind of guys.
I just think they're so insecure.
Mm.
I would be mad if someone asked me that with judgment. It's one thing to ask if you're curious and you're like, "How many people have you slept with?" Like,
Mhm.
having fun, but, I think if a man is insecure about your sexual past, like, they are not yet ready to confront something they're insecure about.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, bad. I don't
Not
know.
good, yeah.
I would never put up with that.
That's like some sort of toxic masculinity energy that needs to be unpacked by them with the
Yeah.
therapist.
Yeah, I think there's, like I see a lot of discourse online about that and, like, men being insecure about I mean, even beyond just sex, like, a woman making more money than them
Mm,
or being successful in their career, like, that just, like I don't know. That gives me the ick.
yeah. If you can be emasculated that easily,
Yes.
then how much of a man are you
Yeah, you're just
really?
like very not confident, and
Right.
confidence is very attractive. And I don't know, I just feel like both people in a relationship would want the other person to feel comfortable with like all aspects of their sexuality.
Yeah, I agree. What are that you're seeing with, being so plugged into this industry, like, what do you think is coming for the next few years that we should know about or get excited about?
I think that like having access to care
Mhm.
has never been more important.
Yeah.
Um I think that, like, there's a lot of confusion in our industry thanks to the lack of sex ed. Like, over 50% of women who live in states with abortion bans think that the morning after pill is illegal because they think it's an abortion pill. And that's, like, not a reflection on their intelligence. It's a reflection of, like, the society that we live in and sex ed failing us. I mean, we have, like, investors who are degrees, advanced degrees, working in CPG in the industry, and they have said like, "Oh, can you sell that everywhere?" And we're like, "Yes." Like, so I think that brands need to be leading with education about sexual wellness products and reproductive health products. I also think that consumers are just demanding better experiences. Like, if we can I go puffed our products here before I walked in because I forgot them, but if you can order this and get it delivered, it literally came in 10 minutes, um, you're not gonna put up with, like, waiting 3 hours for urgent care
Yeah.
and waiting another 3 hours for your prescription. Like, people brands are really stepping up to fill those gaps, um, and also to fill the education gaps in a time where, like, w women's health information is getting scrubbed from government websites. It's, like, scary when you start going down the rabbit hole of it all.
Yeah.
So I think that what's next is, like, brands really stepping up and taking that place.
What's the most, like, outlandish thing you've heard in, like, an investor
Oh
meeting
my
or
god.
something like that, that you were just like, are they fucking
We
serious?"
could literally sit here for hours. My favorite, and you'll like this, my favorite story to tell is early on, we were in an investor meeting, and we were talking about pregnancy tests because that was our first product, and we brought up ovulation and how women who are trying to get pregnant can need pregnancy tests for many months. And this investor asked us if all women ovulate on the same day at the same time. Like
Like, all
all
women.
women.
Oh my
I
god.
was like, this is literally the plot to like a really good novel. Like
Yeah, fully. That's the plot to what's the, one about The Handmaid's
Handmaid's
Tale,
Tale.
but, like, the opposite.
Totally. Like, can you imagine if we were all ovulating on the same day? We'd all just like come out of our homes like we're
That
ready.
is crazy. That's
So
hysterical.
funny. And like my co-founder in an invest that one's like a funny one, but we've had some bad ones. My co-founder was asked, someone asked her if she would consider taking voice lessons because her voice is like girly,
Oh my
high
god.
pitch. She's like 5 feet tall and like
Ridiculous. But
spunky.
going back to that first one, I still can't get
Yeah.
over, it's just sad because it goes to show how little men know about women's
Yeah,
sexual health.
totally. And
Like,
like this was a man who like I don't know if he had kids. He probably had kids. He was of
yeah,
the age to be a dad.
it's terrifying.
It's really, really scary, and we get a lot of, like, "Oh, I didn't know," you know, that women got or, like, they'll know what a UTI is or a yeast infection is, but they'll think it's something that we get, like, maybe once.
Mm.
They're like, "People aren't gonna repeat purchase this," and I'm like, "Have you met a woman?"
Right,
Like,
literally.
we
No, we were discussing, like, I had recurring BV for a while with a partner
It's
who
awful.
I honestly, not to blame him, but it was definitely his fault because he was not hygienic when he was cleaning, and, like, he would use products
Mhm.
that like, your pH is so delicate
Yes.
down there, and ever since I had that experience, I only use non-toxic products when cleaning. Like, I would never use anything scented on my vagina ever,
No.
but you can't control what your partner is using,
Yeah.
especially if men are still using these, like, 3-in-1, like, I don't like, random, CVS brand products, and then they're putting that into
Into
your
you.
most safest,
Totally.
part, and so that's like, that needs to be normalized, talking about
I
that.
mean, PSA, you should not be using anything scented.
Mhm.
You should not be cleaning the inside of your vagina.
Right.
Like, they sell so many. Go into a drugstore, there's shelves of, I'm gonna call them out. Summer's Eve,
Yeah.
clean your
I
vagina.
used to use those because I didn't know.
It's so and of course, like, how would you know when they're selling that? You're a
Mhm.
consumer, you're walking in the thing, like, you're gonna buy it. If it's like you read it and you're like, "Oh my god, do I need that?" I wouldn't know unless I was, like, literally working in this, but, like, you don't need to clean your vagina.
Mhm.
It's self-cleaning. And also back to BV, there was just a study that confirmed that men can pass BV to female partners,
I
which
knew
is
it.
like, yeah, no shit.
Mhm.
We've all been saying this, but like,
Right.
the medical field didn't recognize it and would be like, no, it's not sexually transmitted.
Isn't that the same thing with HPV? I mean, doesn't it come from
Yep.
men, but they don't, like, present for it?
Yeah, men don't, have any, like, symptoms from HPV. Symptoms might be the wrong word. HPV in men obviously cannot turn into cervical cancer, but in
Right.
women it can.
Mhm.
And that's another thing too for moms of boys is the HPV vaccination is really like it came out when I was in high school,
Yeah, me
targeted
too.
towards girls.
Mhm.
And I remember my mom got it. My mom had my brother get it. And a lot of like the friends' moms were like, "Why is your son getting that?" And a lot of boys don't get it because parents are hesitant about vaccinations, do your own research, etc. But it's so important for boys to be vaccinated against HPV because it's
Yeah.
really common, the most
Yeah.
common.
So much to digest.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But all such important conversations. And going back to your co-founder
Yeah.
and your friendship with her,
Yeah.
what has helped you guys to maintain such a close friendship being co-founders? I know that's, it's a lot.
I love that question. Um, I wish she was here. We usually do this kind of stuff together. But she and I started as coworkers and friends. So we kind of like had a foundation of trust and we really respect each other. Also, it helps that we do opposite things. So she does finance, operations,
Mhm.
investor stuff, and I do like marketing and branding and product. So we don't step on each other's toes. Um, but of course, having a business with someone is kind of like being married to them. Like I literally feel like she's like a spouse to me. We spend like 40 plus hours a week together. Um, one of the things that's helped us the most is we've done coaching, co-founder coaching, which is more or less couples therapy for
Literally.
business.
Mhm.
And it's helped a lot. It's just like helped us understand each other. We started the business when we were 25 and now we're in our early 30s and like we've grown a lot. We've been through a lot personally while running the
Yeah.
business.
Well, you guys were both planning weddings and she just called off her wedding.
Yeah.
So how can you show up for someone like that who's a friend when you're still kind of going through the process that you were going through together?
Yeah. That was so last summer she was supposed to get married and the wedding didn't come to fruition, but it was like days before. So it was obviously like that's a really intense thing for anyone to go through.
Yeah.
A breakup is intense and that's like a million times more intense. So I think just like showing up for her that weekend that her wedding was supposed to be, I went to her parents' house in New Jersey and just kind of sat with her close friends and just giving her the space to like take time off from work. And we start every single day with like a Slack hangout, a call, and we don't talk about work stuff for the first like 30 minutes. Like we just chat about our lives. And it's been really, I mean, now this happened a year ago. So she's in like a amazing place now. She moved to Mexico City and is just kind of thriving and she's dating and like she was with her ex for since college. So she never dated. And for most of our business, I was on the apps, I was going on dates,
Right.
I was in like situationships and all the things. And now she's going through that and I'm just like loving chatting with her about it, giving her advice when she wants it. Um and yeah, just I think like being patient with each other and um having that foundation of friendship is important,
Yeah, that's so
you
real.
know. But when we're down to business, it's like put it all aside. We're
Mhm.
working on the business.
I love it. This has been such a fun conversation. Can you leave us with a quote or piece of advice?
Ooh. Okay. And thank you so much for having me
Of
on. So
course.
fun. My favorite topic. A piece of advice would be if you I have to think. I have to think. Okay, just to get comfortable talking about sex. It sounds
Yeah.
obvious based on our conversation, but your life will improve tenfold. Your relationships will improve. Whether you're dating or in a long term relationship, like, I think it's really amazing and cool, like, in the early stages of dating to bring up sex and talk about it openly. And it just creates a really amazing foundation for your relationship, and lets you be honest with each other.
I love that. Where can everyone find you and follow
Yes.
you and get all the Winx products?
Yes. Our socials are at Winx Health, WINX Health. And oh my God, I didn't say, but we are nationwide at Walgreens. So that's our big launch. You can go into any Walgreens and find us. And if you don't want to leave your home, you can get us on GoPuff, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all the apps. And we've got everything from morning after pills to UTI tests to vaginal probiotics.
It's amazing. I love it. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much
Jamie.
for having me. It's just so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my God.